Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships as we check out our Thursday edition video here, where I'm going to be talking about Twilight Battle. I'm going to show some battle footage, and because of the recording time, apparently Twilight Battle is only active for certain times of the day, and if I don't do this video now, it's likely that I'm not going to be able to get the video out today when you're seeing it. So this is on Wednesday, so I have to go ahead and record it now earlier in the day. But what I wanted to do in talking about this event, I'll probably just share a brief clip or two talking about the battle and gaming of itself. But what I thought was most important was probably just talking about the ships. A lot of people can show you the gameplay, but what about the ships? What's going on with these different ships? So what you have going on with the ships is you have 3 destroyers, you have 2 cruisers, and 3 battleships to choose from, and I'll give you my thoughts on each of these ships. So the Gull, Leviathan, and the Octopus are the standard ships that you get access to. And if you're wondering, hey Flimsy, where are you getting all these other ships from? You can simply hop over into combat missions, and there'll be if you haven't, there'll be these missions that you can choose in order to unlock access, like here, like to get Rasputin. I had to complete this one to gain access to the other ships. So you just have to play the ships enough to be able to gain access to the next ship that would be in line. But starting off here, let's talk about the destroyers first, and I'll give you my thoughts on them. Gull is a pretty straightforward destroyer. Decent reload time, decent 180-degree turn time. Survivability, maybe not the hottest, but most of these destroyers are pretty low HP in terms of the tier, if you're calling it a tier 9 destroyer. But what you have with the Gull is that you have these torpedoes, 2 racks of torpedoes here. Should be, 2 sets of 5. And they have a speed of 9.2 knots, or range of 9.2 kilometers, and torpedo speed of 70 knots. What makes the ships different? I mean, of course, their guns can be different, but really revolves around either their gun range or their consumables. So, for example, we have an 8-kilometer main battery firing range. So some of these ships are meant to get close, and others you can kind of play more further away. But you have covert repair, reduces detectability range by half and restores your 100 HP per second as long as your ship remains undetected. HP restoration efficiency doubles if your ship remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. So this is really nice. You can also utilize this if you want to rush a battleship, because your concealment is 6.3, so then you have like a 3.1, 3.2 concealment, and then you pop the invincible engine boost right as you're maybe about to get detected, and you can easily YOLO a battleship, a cruiser. So when you tie these 2 consumables, activate them at the same time, it's really good stuff. The invincible engine boost protects you from filth and increases the ship's maximum speed, and your ship will not receive any damage exceeding her health pool. So maximum speed plus 50%. So then if your speed, for example, is 43 knots, add 50% on top of that. So when you pair these 2 together, it's really good. So this destroyer, in my opinion, is good. You can see 11,600 torpedo maximum damage with a reload time of just over a minute 10 seconds. So this destroyer, in my opinion, is actually quite nice. We go over to the Razer worm. So we got a little bit of a different thing going over here. It looks like it's similar to a Russian destroyer. Maybe the Tashkent is what I'm seeing here, because they just make it a clone of different ships in the tech tree. But when we look at it, your gun reload time is 4 seconds. 180-degree turn time, it's slower than the Gull, 9 seconds. Your gun range is 10 kilometers, so you got 2 more kilometers. Your torpedo reload time is over 2 minutes, and you only have a 4-kilometer range. And your maximum speed is maximum damage of these torps is significantly higher than the Gull, so 17,933 and 65 knots. So this is all about rushing in and dumping your torps on targets, or utilizing more the range that you get with this ship in comparison to the Gull with these guns, and setting fires on your targets, so on and so forth. So with the consumables here, you have the club haul. So immediately makes the ship make a U-turn. Like you'd be sailing one direction. I press T. I'm going to do a 180 instant degree turn, and I'm going to recover 2,000 hit points. The HP restoration efficiency doubles if your remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. So this is destroyer probably if you like the guns. It's going to favor you a bit more. They also have this dispersion system. Decreases enemy ship main battery gun firing accuracy, action time of 20 seconds. So an enemy ship can be, let's say you're low on health, you've popped T, you got 2,000 health back, but you're really low on health still. You pop the dispersion system, and then like it's crazy, like bad dispersion of enemy ships trying to shoot you. So these pair really well, so it kind of goes along the lines of like being more of that gunboat. Then maybe you utilize an island, maybe you can utilize an ally smokescreen from the Steel Rat as an example to get in close and dump your torpedoes. So this one's also good. It depends on if you like torpedoes, you probably want to play gold more. If you like guns, then you're going to want to play Razor Worm. The Steel Rat is a pesky fellow, and I hate this ship for several reasons, but also I like this ship for several reasons. So first off, your guns 4-second reload time, 108 return time of 9 seconds, but your gun range is 7 kilometers. You don't play this ship for guns. Your torpedoes are good, decent. They have a 90-second reload time, so 1.5 minutes, torpedo range of 10 kilometers, and their maximum damage is 20,967 with a 57 knot speed. So this ship has a bit of interesting things going on with it when you're looking at it as a whole. So what makes and breaks this ship? Well, yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a double-edged sword. It's the consumables that you have with the Steel Rat that make this ship so pesky. So first off, restoration charge. Your hit to your ally will restore 1,000 HP to that ally and 5,000 HP to your ship. Main gun reload time is reduced by a factor of 4. Action time of 20 seconds, reload time of 20 seconds, and you get 6 of these. So if let's say you have a destroyer, cruiser, battleship, whatever, they get really low on health, then you just press T and then you just start spamming them with the restoration charge and shooting them. You literally shoot your ally, like you can lock onto them, and then their health recovers and your health recovers. So this is really helpful. So this is a support style destroyer. You play close to your team because your gun range 7 kilometers. Other thing you get is your smoke generator. Generates a smoke screen that reduces the risk of being detected by the enemy. Action time of 60 seconds, and then 10 seconds per smoke screen buff. And action radius is quite large. It's 1.2 kilometers. So you can conceal a cruiser, and let's say an octopus or something like that, or you have a battleship who's really low on health and needs to heal. You can cover him with the smoke screen, assuming he's not firing and exposes his smoke fire penalty. But you get 3 of these, and note that the action time is 10 seconds, so you can't just lay out a row of smoke screen because it dissipates rather quickly. So think of it as a slow crawling smoke screen that follows you around wherever you go for 60 seconds. And this one is also a kicker. It's called Emergency Reserve. So all your allies within a 5-kilometer radius receive 1 extra charge for each consumable that they have for their ship. So it's a 1 second. It's as soon as you press the key, your allies get additional consumables. So if you're on the octopus, you get additional surveillance radar, and you get additional heal radiance, right? So this is, as soon as the battle starts, you press this key. It has a 2-minute reload time on it. And so all your allies, you're all grouped up at the start of the battle. So you press that, give all your team an additional consumable charge. Now, the reason why I particularly hate this ship, but it's very strong if you play on your team, is if it's on the enemy team, if there's like 2 Steel Rats and they're running around and you get an enemy ship, I had this happen to me several times, to get them down to under 1,000 HP, they come over, and before you get the next volley off, they just press the restoration charge key, and then they heal them all the way back up almost to full health. Unless it's something like a Rasputin that has an obscenely large health pool, it takes a really long time to get them fully healed back up. So if you do 2 Steel Rats and a Rasputin, really OP, really strong. You tie 2 Steel Rats, like if you're doing a division of 3, right, playing with friends. So these ships are a pain. Like, these are the ships that you want to focus killing first if they're on the enemy team. And if you play this ship, you want to play this as a support destroyer. You want to be supporting your team. Like, that's really, then not really to the, you're not getting much damage with this ship. You might get lucky with your torps, of course, and utilizing them because they hit really hard. But you're going to be supporting, you're playing more of a support role for your team and stick close to your team. Because if you go out by yourself, you're likely to get killed. Kind of scenario here with the Steel Rat. But you don't get a lot of damage for yourself. This, I think Wargaming messed up the reload time. It's 20 seconds. So you can get that target back down to, let's say, low health again, and then they press the T key again, and they can heal up the enemy ship you're trying to kill. I think the reload time on this should be more like at least 40 seconds, if not a minute, because essentially, like, you can have 2 Steel Rats, and this restoration charge is always available. Like, you're in a Rasputin, you have 2 buddies in a Steel Rat. Each in a Steel Rat, there's constant health pouring out. So when you have more than 1 Steel Rat on the enemy team, it's a real pain. And if you come across them, you want to focus on killing them first. Next up, you have the Octopus, which is essentially a Mogami, if I am correct in my memory. So your gun range is, or your reload time, let's start with that, is 10 seconds, 180 return time, 36 seconds, 35,000 hit points. You have torpedoes that reload every 101 seconds, 10 kilometer range. They hit pretty decent for 17k. Your gun range is 17 kilometers, so you have more gun range than the Leviathan, you have more gun range than the Varg, and I think you have more gun range. Yeah, you even have more gun range than the Rasputin. So you play this ship at range. Like, that's what I do. You just have to be, if you get within 15 kilometers of enemy battleships, you're really asking for it. So you want to play this ship at range, utilize the islands. I had a game with this ship where I was playing at range and stuff. I can throw a post-battle results screen even here on the screen. And I got 400k damage. And I think we still lost the match because there were Steel Rats on the enemy team. But you play this at range because you outrange the enemy battleships. So I get in range of battleships and sacrifice being a one-shot, right? Play at range. Your speed's decent. You have a 15-kilometer surveillance radar. So it's really good stuff happening here. Action time of 20 seconds, reload time of a minute. And then you get Heal Radiance. So it restores 10,000 HP for all allied ships. And the health pool restoration efficiency doubles if your remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. So that's kind of why, like, if you have a Steel Rat and they pop a heal, or they pop the consumable emergency reserve, it really helps with this since you only have 2 of these when you start off. But this ship is good. I like it. It plays well. You keep focusing on trying to utilize your setting fires. You have a 30% chance, and you have 15 guns. So you have a pretty good chance of just burning down targets. So that's most of the damage I did in that 400k game was from just constantly setting fire. So it's a good ship. The Scarab, this ship is a love-hate relationship for me. The first battle I played in it, I was like, what the heck is this ship? I didn't look at anything of the stats of the ship before I went in. And then I carried the game the last half of the battle in the 1 versus 3 and won it for my team. And then I realized, oh, that's how you play this ship, okay? So why does this ship suck? Okay, first, well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. You have an 8-second reload time, 180 return time, 12 seconds. Hit points, 30,800. Torpedoes, these are really strong. They're 550 millimeter torpedoes that reload every 15 seconds. And they should be a rack of 3. Yeah, 2x3, so you get a rack on each side. They hit for 14.8k, and they do a decent speed of 70 knots with that 9-kilometer range. So when you play this ship, you just keep spamming torpedoes. Like, you're literally playing this as like a torpedo cruiser, because your guns only have an 8-kilometer gunfire control system range, and that sucks. So you feel pretty useless in the battle with only 8-kilometer range, and I'll talk more about this in a minute. But you have good speed of 45 knots. Your consumables, you have Grim Vampire Drain, action time of 40 seconds, so restores the ship's HP by 1,000 HP for each hit scored upon enemy ships. So HP restoration efficiency doubles if your remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. Then you also tie with damage converter. Damage caused to your ship by the enemy restores your ship's HP. So let's say the Leviathan pushed the death button, which we'll talk about here in a minute, or you have incoming salvos, incoming torpedoes even. You press the Y key and all it does is give you health. You take no damage whatsoever. And that's really strong when you tie these two together, and I'll talk about that why in a minute. Then you get a hydrocruising search range of 5 kilometers for ships and torpedoes, okay? So when you get into this ship and you play, and without looking at the gun range and stuff, you're like, I hate this ship, 8 kilometers, it sucks. But what makes this ship so strong is you play this ship for the last half of the battle. Like after maybe half the enemy team's killed, that's when this ship shines, okay? And why do I say that this ship shines? Well, I would say when I figured it out from the 1 versus 3 match, because one, you have your hydro, right? And you spam torpedoes every 15 seconds from either side with really good torpedo angles. But you're a very hard target to kill. Let's say you press the Grim Vampire Drain consumable, okay? You're getting health back as you score hits upon enemy ships, and that's active for 40 seconds with reload time of 60 seconds. And then you can switch to damage converter. Let's say you get really low again in your health. You pop this, and any damaged enemy ships are shooting at you heals you. And so the situation I had, I was in 1 versus 3, 2 enemy cruisers, I think it's 2 octopuses, and a enemy destroyer. And I was spamming torpedoes. I killed the 1 cruiser, and then I think I gunned down the enemy destroyer, and then it was just me and an enemy cruiser. And then what did I do? I came at him, my torpedoes reloaded 15 seconds, and I did a drive-by, and I was just kiting at first. I did a drive-by on the 1 cruiser, and then I popped the damage converter. So when he torpedoed me, because he's an octopus and I was in Scarab, he did no damage to me, but I did damage to him, and I instant killed him. And then I just used Vampire Drain and kited from the remaining cruiser and won. So team was pretty impressed that I carried that. So this ship, you can't push in the beginning of the battle. Like, it's just how it is. You play at range, or you stay back for a while, and then once you can pick on an isolated target, or it's the last half of the battle, then you can push in and make the ships shine. But a lot of players struggle with it just because it sucks because of that gun range. But the torpedoes are strong, and then you control enemy ships really well. Moving along, Leviathan is basically in North Carolina. 24-second reload time. Very slow turning traverse, 180 degree turn time of 45 seconds. Enemy destroyers can take advantage of you on this. Your hull, 53,700, 15 kilometer gun range. So you're an octopus, keep that in mind, stay outside of it. Maximum speed of 29 knots. This is the death button, the infernal accuracy. The sigma that you get, the accuracy when you push this key is insane with your main battery guns. Significantly increases main battery gun firing accuracy. It's enough for 1 salvo, and I can put some video footage in here, but I have yoinked multiple battleships, multiple cruisers who go broadside at the start of a battle. They're sitting still. You press this key and you one-shot them. And I actually got one-shotted last night, or Tuesday night, because I wasn't paying attention to a Leviathan that was moving around on me. Your Sigma's insane accuracy, like better than Satsuma with all these 4.69 armor-piercing shells. Smash. You can even smash a destroyer. You just have to be mindful if you're wanting the armor-piercing, make sure you load that before you push that T key. Repair zone. It creates a repair zone within 5 kilometer radius of the ship that recovers the ship's own health pool and her allied ships. HP at a rate of 500 per second. HP restoration efficiency doubles if your remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. So you're just basically healing yourself up, and you're healing your allied ships up around you. It's kind of like this green stuff that pours out into the water when you push this consumable key, which is nice in being able to help your team out. Let's talk about the Varg. This is the next ship you get. I hate this ship. I do not like this ship. Because I think it's basically a Tirpitz, FDG, whatevs. And the reason why I hate this ship is because it also gets an 8 kilometer gun range and only 380 millimeter guns, 26 second reload time, 180 return time of 36 seconds, 64,500 hit points. decent speed. Your maneuverability is actually pretty insane in this ship. It says 15.5 seconds, but it definitely is not that when you're playing this ship. So that's a little confusing. You have really good maneuverability with this ship. Don't believe this. Really good. You are kind of this tank. You're kind of that same place of like the Scarab, that you play this ship for the last half of the battle because of that 8-kilometer gun range. So you get an energy shield, protects the ship from all damage types. So if you have a destroyer, tries to yellow you, you want to ram an enemy ship, you just press your T key, pop your energy shield, you take no damage, and has reload time of 30 seconds, so it's actually has a short cooldown time. That's good. And you also get the Matter Restore, improves the ship's maneuverability, and restores HP. Yeah, this is probably the key I'm thinking about when you press this. Maneuverability restores HP at a rate of 300 HP per second. Each enemy ship within a zone of 5-kilometer radius around the ship provides an additional 300 HP to restoration efficiency, so you can kind of think of it as outnumbered if you get too many enemy ships around you. HP restoration efficiency doubles if your remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. So, yeah, I see a lot of Varg players who rush in the first half of a battle because 8-kilometer gun range, right? And you don't get torpedoes. But actually, you want to hold off to the last half of the battle, which is really hard because that requires you to play passive, and it's not so great. So this is, I think, the worst ship of all of them, for said reason. And then you have the Rasputin. To wrap this video up, you have let's pull it up. So you have basically you get 4 main battery gun turrets. Your artillery is 305mm guns, so they don't have a lot of punch unless you catch an enemy cruiser broadside, so on and so forth. So these guns are not the greatest. Reload time 15.5 seconds, really nice because I mean they're 305mm guns. 180 degree turn time 18 seconds, way better than Leviathan. And then your hull 200,000. You're just a tanky beast, but you're kind of a beast that gets set on fire a lot. So that's where you kind of need to steal rats because a lot of ships will target you because of that massive health pool because they don't want you around. You have a main battery firing range of 14 kilometers. So again, if you're a cruiser, just stay outside the 15 kilometers of these battleships and you're golden if that's the key for your membering. So 14 kilometer gun range and 28 knots. So you have the Ghastly Vampire Drain. Converts 50% of damage dealt to the enemy to the ship's own health pool. And then again, your HP restoration efficiency doubles if your remaining allies are fewer in number than the enemy ships. You also get the Signal Jamming Generator. Prevents enemy ships from using consumables. So let's say there's a low health enemy ship and there's an enemy still rat on the enemy team who you know is going to heal that ship up. You just press the Y key, prevent them from getting that, using their healing abilities for their allies, or if you're about to kill a ship and you don't want him to go invulnerable like the Varg, press this key. So you really use these, you have to time it well because you only get 2 of these charges. But your chances of causing fire is 33%, so it's a lot of people. I see a lot of people treat these like more like the HE spammers, and just firing a lot of HE on enemy ships. So I felt like it was probably best for me to kind of go over these ships to talk more about them and sharing my approach to them, tips and tricks. But the Gull and Razor Worm are decent. Still Rat's good, but you don't play it for yourself. It's a support destroyer. Octopus is good. Scarab is a mixed bag. You either love it or hate it, and you have to play it for the last half. Leviathan probably is actually my favorite battleship just because of that instant death button. So if an enemy ship goes broadside, I get to punish them for it. And if you miss, you have only yourself to blame for aiming poorly. But really strong. And then you have the Rasputin, strong, a lot of health to deal with, and the Varg is probably the worst ship of all these in Twilight Battle. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up now. I hope you appreciate it. Sorry I can't just go into and play a battle. I mean, this video is getting a little lengthy anyhow, so if I did a battle, I'd probably want to just show it in a different clip. But that is going to wrap it up for today. So if you liked today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you are subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time. Take care.